Hello guys, Greg K here. I'll be teaching you guys how to make Hanover signs. As we can see, this is our front sign for just Hanover stuff. Here's our side sign, and then this here is our rear sign. I'll be teaching you guys how to make all three, references included, and that is going to play a really important part later. But anyways, to create these signs, I will be using the paint.net application, as you can see right here. We're going to go ahead and open that up. So I'm going to go back to the home page, but it's opening up right now. And as we see, it's just a blank white screen, and obviously we can't really do much with that. So what we want to have are obviously the templates, and to get those templates, which are these right here, do not mind that. These right here, I'll be putting these in the description, but 200 times 24 is your Hanover front sign. So the sign that you see right here, this is identical to this. Now, the sign that you see right here, this is Hanover 128 times 15, which is right here. And now for the rear sign, as you can see, this is, I believe, 48 times 15, and that is not you, but you over here. So you guys want to make sure that you have those, you guys want to make sure that you have these templates. I'm going to put them in the description because I'm not sure if there's like any templates for them in Discord or anywhere. But now to actually create the signs. So go ahead, and once you've downloaded the 200 times 24 template, the 128 times 15 template, and the 48 times 15 template, you want to make the front sign first. That's what I usually start with. And go ahead and copy this. Now, when you're making signs, before you paste anything, when you're making signs, you want to make sure that your template fits the background, because this is what's going to happen when you paste it, right? It's going to do that. So you usually have the option to expand your canvas whenever you paste it, and it's going to automatically expand it for you. So let's see. This happens though, and obviously we don't want anything like that. So we're going to go ahead and undo that and that. So now we're back to our square one. Go over here to image, press resize, and for the width, it's going to be the exact same as the width of this times 10. And same for the height. So we're just making this 10 times bigger on the canvas. So the width will be 2000, as 200 times 10 is 2000, and the height will be 240, as 24 times 10 is 240, like this. And now we have our perfect background, and you can go ahead and paste it, and it perfectly fits. Now we're gonna put a second layer here, as this is where the text will be. But obviously we can't make those texts if you don't have the text. See here? It actually goes through if you zoom in. It's just black H's, but you can't see anything obviously. So we're gonna go ahead and undo that. So to get your fonts, you're gonna go ahead and go to this lovely template right here, created by BenTheMiner, where this is where you'll be finding your fonts at. I'll leave a link to this in the description. And yeah, so everything you see here are like, you have everything. You have access to Illuminator, you have access to Spectrum. We're still in the works with, well, he's still in the works with Axion, I'm pretty sure, and Aces and all that stuff. But we're making Hanover signs at the moment, so we're going to be going to the Hanover tab. As we can see over here, we have some cool stuff. We want to replicate this sign right here, this BX19, the Bronx Park. So in most cases, for every bus route, this part right here, the BX19, it uses just one font, which is, I'm pretty sure, the Route 24 font. So we're going to go ahead and download that. To download it, we're going to go ahead and find that font. And if you guys don't know like how to find the fonts and stuff like that, you always can just compare the dots. But in most cases, all of the routes for every Hanover bus, this part right here will always be Route 24 for the BX19. And if you want to do Q routes, M routes, it will always be Route 24, unless your reference says otherwise. So in most cases, we're going to go ahead and get that 24 text. We just have to find it. It's a lot of stuff in here, but you will find it eventually. It tells you the stuff up here, the dimensions. So we'll have to look at the dimensions for that. We see 16H, 6x17, 9 times 17, 10 times 17. We're almost there. Almost there. It's really just a lot of stuff here, as Hanover is a really massive program. Here it is. No, that's Route 24. Here it is, Hanover Route 24. So you're gonna go ahead and download the dots. So it should look like this. You will know if you open the wrong one if you open it and it looks like this. This is what you don't want to have if you're making the Hanover fonts to look like this. You guys want to make sure that you get the ones with the dots. I'm sorry, I opened the wrong tab. So now go ahead and press download. It's going to ask you to read this stuff. You don't really have to read it, but you know, blah, blah. Doesn't matter which you download it. Sorry for stuttering. You can download it in open type. You can download it in true type. I'm not sure what this is, but I just recommend true type because that's what I download. So download it. I already have the font, so it's probably going to be duplicate. Open the file up. It's going to look like this. And then you want to press this right here. Double click it. And then press install. But since I already have the thing, so it asked me if I want it, so it doesn't matter. I don't. But for everyone watching this, if you do not have that, I recommend you, well, not recommend, you just gotta get it, so yeah. Now, I can delete that, but I'll delete that later. Now we can go back over here, and we now have the font, which will show up in our fonts over here at the top left. We have to scroll down to where it said Hanover Route 24. So that should be right here. I already have the rest of the Hanover font, so that's why I see a lot of Hanover stuff. So yeah, now we want to type BX19. And before you type anything, make sure it's in your second layer as seen over here. This is where your text will be. You don't want it in your background layer as that's obviously going to mess things up. So BX19. But wait, you can barely see anything and it's still black. You want to go over here, change the color to orange. This nice little orange right here, FF6A00. Perfect. And the font is too small. And if you're not sure what size the font should be, I got you. Go back to the dimensions. Go back to the sign font sheet, and it tells you the dimensions or the size to use. I'm sorry, the size right here. So as we can see, 120. We're gonna use 120. And if we zoom in, and like we drag the dot on top of dots, it perfectly covers the dots. But obviously we have to center this. So just go ahead and drag this to the corner like this. See? Perfect. And now just obviously center it a little bit more. So we got this. Drag it a little bit. And voila. BX19. Now the Bronx Park part. As we can see here, we still have to do this text. So this is, I guess, the hardest part for some of you sign makers, or if you're going to be new to this. But it gets really, really easy, and that's knowing which fonts to use for the destination, because this is just the route as we just put, but the destination is what matters for, you know, the route. And the destination is Bronx Park. So what usually happens is that some people end up using the wrong fonts. They'll still use the right dimensions and stuff, and they'll still use the right size. It's just going to be like in the wrong font. So for instance, I'm not sure if you can do this with Hanover Route 24, but yeah, you can't do that. But let's try something out like this, right? We're going to use Hanover Route 9x16, which the size is still 120, I'm pretty sure. So as we can see, it still perfectly says Bronx Park. If I can put a fucking K, it says perfectly says Bronx Park, but if we go back and compare it, it's not the one that we're looking for. It's slightly more bold and more thick. This is where you might have to start comparing the dots if you're pretty unsure like what you can do. So you got to go back to the templates over here for the fonts, and you kind of just have to compare. I know which size it is, so I'm gonna save you all the time in this route. I mean, not route. It's 11x19. These two right here. It's one of these two actually. I'm pretty sure it's this one. But yeah, it also tells you the dimensions. So 142.5. I'm going to change the size first, and then I'm going to change the font like this. And see, now it looks like that one. The more bold, the more thick one. See? And then, of course, what you want to do the most, this matters the most, you want to center it, because if you just have it like this, it's going to be off center, it's going to look weird. So what I recommend doing, you don't have to do this, but you can like count the empty dots between the last text on the left, like between here and here, and then between here and the wall. So that's going to make sure that you even it out. And if you have any uneven dimensions for the height, you always want to make sure that the bottom is going to have more empty space than the top by just one. Same applies if there's more empty space over here and less empty space over here. You want to have it the opposite. You want to have more empty space over here and less empty space over here by just one. So what I mean by that is, see how there's 2 up here and then there's 3 at the bottom, like this. There we go. So there's 2 empty rows up there. There's 3 empty rows down there, like that. And then, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and count these empty spaces over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's 12 on that side. Then over here we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. In this case, it is an even number, so all we have to do is just even it out with 13 on each side. So there we go. Now there should be 13 empty dots on this side, and then 13 empty dots on this side. If there's ever a case where there's like 12 and 13, like I said earlier, make sure that this side is 12 and that side is 13. If it's 14, 15, this side is 14, that side is 15, so on. So you want to have your lower number over here and your higher number over there. Same for the top, lower number at the top, higher number at the bottom, unless your reference says otherwise. So yeah, now we have a perfect BX19 to Bronx Park sign. That's great. There is one last thing that you want to do though, and that's add your glow. So to add the glow, you go to Effects, go to Photo, press Glow. And for Hanover, the glow is just a simple radius 20, brightness 10, and contrast 10. Press OK, and you have your perfect sign. Nice. Now you want to save it. Go to File, go to Save As, and then whatever you want to save it as. But you also want to make sure it's saved as an actual image or PNG like this. So unfortunately for me, in this case scenario, I want to save it to my folders and stuff. It doesn't really matter where you save it to. You just want to make sure you save it as a PNG. But I'm only saying unfortunately because I already made the BX19 sign. So also, I have to fix this. As we can see, clearly it's not the right... More on that later, so I'll be redoing that. If we go back down here, I already have the BX19 at Bronx Park. But it doesn't matter. Just pretend that you save it, right? Blah, blah. Gonna go to bus signs and save it as blah, blah. It's gonna ask you to flatten everything. Press OK. And yeah. Now, if you want to continue making signs, just pretty much undo everything like that. If you're still making the BX19 sign, then keep your BX19, but just get rid of the text, because that's what I'm going to be doing right now. We're going to go ahead and advance to the second text now, right? We want to make this font, this code, via 149th Street and via Southern. Now that reminds me, are these texts accurate at all? Let me just go ahead and check. This is me just doing personal stuff, so don't mind this. What is that sound? Yeah, so actually it's not accurate. That's great. So I've learned that this is 8x11M, I'm pretty sure. So I will have to get that font, ironically. See how someone came unprepared? We're going to need that 8x11, 8x11 font, if I can find it. I passed it, didn't I? Yep, I don't know. Can't find it. Maybe no, I didn't pass it. I'm just going too damn fast. It should be this, right? Oh, it's A for. Oh, sorry, I have the right font. I just always type it the wrong way. Anyways, go back to layer 2. And in most cases, for top and bottom text, like this over here, your top text will be 11. It will be 7x12, and your bottom text will be 8x11, unless your reference says otherwise. But in most cases, it's like this. So it's gonna be a pretty much easy walk in the park, where you're gonna go ahead, put your text, get your 7x12 font if you've downloaded it. If you didn't download it, then download it, and then go ahead, change the size. Again, like I mentioned earlier, it tells you the size in the site. So 7x12 is 90, and 8x11 is 60. What the fuck? It's not 60. It's actually 82.5, so I have the wrong one. Well, mine is, for some reason, mine is 60, so I have to get the new one then, if that's the case. But anyways, As we can see, this is pretty accurate via 149th Street. Like this. Drag it on top of the dots. And make sure it's on top of the dots and not just like floating in space like this or something, because we don't like that. So now for the bottom text, I have to actually get 8x11 and replace it this time for real. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Download it. I've read everything, even though I didn't. Install. It's gonna ask me to replace, so I will replace it this time for once. Rare moment, but I need to. So I downloaded it. Now if we go back to over here, we get our 8x11 font. Instead of the size being 60, it's gonna be 82.5, which I gotta get used to now. So, oops. There we go. Just drag it, make sure it's accurate. Gonna go back over here to compare our references. We can also see like where the dots lie at, so it'll be much more easier for me to make sure that I'm doing this the right way. So it was like this, I'm pretty sure, right? Something like that. No, just one dot off. Like this. Zoom in, make sure the dots are on top of the dots. Perfect. And yeah, now the same thing with the glow applies. It looks pretty accurate for over here and over here. Same thing with the glow applies. Add your effects. Like this. File, save as. And then we're gonna actually replace that old thing, Bob, because it's inaccurate. So we're gonna go over here and just replace it. And yeah, now that's how you make your Hanover front signs. And if you guys still have any questions, let me know in the comments. If you're in the RBO Discord server and you're trying to become a developer, just ping me and I'm pretty sure I'll respond to it. I'll see it on my phone and stuff. Whatever. Now we have to make our sides. So I'm going to see how much I'm doing on time. I'm 17 minutes in. This is going to be much longer than I thought, but to be fair, what do I expect? I'm making signs here, so it's okay. So now we're going to clear everything off. Now it's a default background like how it was when you first opened up paint.net. So like I had mentioned earlier, since we're doing signs right now, we're going to make sure that we expand the canvas size. Go ahead and copy your side template, which is your 128 times 15 right here. Copy that. Go to image and resize it. And like I said, everything is 10 times larger, so 128 times 10, 1280. 15 times 10, 150. And then you paste it. Perfect. Add your second layer, as your text will be there as well. We don't need these two photos anymore with the front signs like that. We do need this photo and we do need that photo. So yeah, I'm going to admit this right now. I hate my life with the numbers I'm about to say, but I will be saying that later. But I just realized that's so bad. So this is the same bus, by the way. Doesn't matter. So anyways, now our side destination. The route for, just like the front sign, the route is usually going to be similar, but instead of using the route 24, it's route 16. So we're going to go to route 16 over here, show you what that looks like. You can also just use, I'm sorry, not 16, 15. I forgot, this is Hanover. So you can also just use CTRL-F and search up, you know. So that's, one of these are actually it. Doesn't matter though. Anyways, once you've got your font, go ahead and start doing stuff. Route 15. Go ahead, check your size. I do not think this is I'm pretty sure I probably have an outdated sign. I meant font size, because mine is 75. But if yours is not 75, then it doesn't matter. Just go by the just go by the size that you have. Also, that's not accurate. You see right here, that's not okay. I have to actually get a new sign, so I will be doing that. Um, wow, it's crazy how shit works. Hanover 9x15, Route X15. I want to see if okay, yeah, we want this one right here. I'm gonna have to replace that file as well. So the size is now 112.5. That's interesting because before it was 75, but oh well. So pretend, yeah, I even see how it just did stuff right there. Whoa. You have to press shift when you're typing. I thought this was MyCT though, isn't it? It is. So as it says here, use uppercase X for small X. I don't know. Just hold shift when you're typing the X for this thing over here. But like I also just kind of mentioned right now, unfortunately, like I had said, usually it's always going to look like this unless your reference says so. And in this case, my reference says so, where the X is right next to the B by just one dot and not two. And same for the 1, the 9, on all the other texts. Usually everything is spaced out by 2, but in this case it's spaced out by 1. So what we're going to do is we have to manually drag each letter. Or if you guys want to, you can always just type out one by one, but sometimes it's annoying. So we have to do something like this, right? Go over here, rectangle select, and once you've selected your stuff, press this right here, which you can drag your shit. So go ahead and drag your shit like this. Until they're each one space apart. Like that. And like this. Perfect. So now that's just the BX19 part, as we can see. Now we need the Bronx Park part. So it's just like making your regular front sides, except that you're just doing the sides, so the text will be smaller. So I'm not sure which font that is. It looks a lot like it's going to be I'm pretty sure this is 7x11. So if I don't have the 7 times 11 font, I'll be damned, but I'm pretty sure I do. Of course I have it. Why wouldn't I? If we go over here and check our font size, fuck you, Google Gemini. 7 times 11, I never really recall using that, so 82.5, bet. No, not 72.5. It is definitely not. Definitely not 82.5. Like I had mentioned earlier, you will sometimes have to kind of beat around the bush with the side comparing, because I'm actually not sure which font that is. So this is interesting. It probably is. I might just be bugging out. If we zoom in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nah, it's most definitely this. It just looks weirder because it's not spaced out by 1. So if we just drag everything like this. Oh, also like that. Now we're going to drag everything until they're each spaced out by 1. So basically just move everything until it's 1 space apart. Except the space between the X and the P, obviously. That's common sense. Dragging it. Let these bows across your chin. Like I said, whatever works for you. Like if you guys want to drag this by like one times, I bet not drag it. If you guys just want to like do letter by letter, it doesn't really matter how you do it. It's just I'm trying to teach you the way how I do it. But whenever you get the hang of making signs and stuff like that, by all means, you do you. You know, this is just how I do my stuff. It might be a little slow and shit though, but I'm just doing stuff. Almost there. I just realized this is the wrong font, I think. I don't know. No, it's not. It's not. Just that A looks pretty weird. It's probably because the bus is moving, but this should be the right font. It just looks weird because everything is condensed by just one space apart. So this is what the shit should look like. I think this is accurate right here. Yeah, like this. We zoom out. Yeah, there we go. Now we can do the same glow as usual. Photo, glow, radius 20. Like that. Blah, blah. Yes, I will be replacing that. And now, last but not least, the same thing with our second to last but not least, actually, the same thing for our top and bottom text. Like I had mentioned, unfortunately, these dimensions over here will be using 6x7. Yes, 6 and a number after 6. So that's mostly your case for the top and bottom text. It would usually be the same for the top and bottom, like 5x7, 4x7, 3x7, or 6x7, because Hanover has 15. Its height is 15 for the side, so if it's like an odd number, you can fit both between and have a dot in the middle. So something like that. If you understand what I'm saying, you understand what I'm saying. So, anyways, we can undo most of this shit. Instead of doing everything one by one, if you have all the shit selected, you can just press CTRL and X like that. So there we go. Now we just type in our stuff. Like I had mentioned earlier, it is. Oh, actually no, it's 667M. This font right here. Again, know your sizes and stuff. It's like this, right? It is also condensed, but I'm just going to pretend at the moment it's not condensed due to my tiredness right now. If I haven't already mentioned, I'm redoing this video because the sound cut out from the other one that I was trying to edit. I didn't even know it was cut out until I had woke up. I'm like, damn. Does say southern and not southern, right? Perfect. So like this. Pretend that the size, that the text are not condensed by one. And let's just pretend that this is accurate. Where's this T at? I'm sorry, not the T, the R. The R is one after the T. Okay, great. The full R? Yes, the full R. Crazy. When texts are condensed, everything looks so weird. Like, the references and everything looks so inaccurate when the texts are condensed, but trust and believe that's how it's supposed to look. Okay, great. Add your glow. Save as. Pretend that you're saving it, blah blah. blah blah blah. And yeah, now you've done your side signs, the top and the bottom. And now the easiest sign that anybody can ever make. Again, undo all of this. Actually, no. What I'm gonna do is just exit up. Just reopen up page on that at the same time. So back to blank campus, blank canvas, like this. Resize. We'll be doing our rear sign, so that's 48 times 15. This one right here. I'm sorry. 480 as 48 times 10 is 480. And 150 as 15 times 10 is 150. Now, for our rear sign, all you're doing is literally just the route. And in every instance, unless your reference says otherwise, but in most instances, simply just for Hanover Route 15. Like, that's literally it. All you gotta do is type your route and call it a motherfucking day. So, Route 15, where are you? Perfect. The size is what? It's actually 112.5 because I downloaded a new font. Change that text color to orange. Six on that side. 7 on that side. Oh, great. So like I had mentioned earlier, if anything goes uneven, you want to have less on this side, more on the right side. So now there's 6 on this side and 7 on that side. Yes, I know I said it, but we're too grown for this shit. Add your glow. Since I closed the app, so I gotta redo the glow manually like that to 20. Easy. Save it. There we go. And yeah, that's how you make your standard Hanover signs. I'll be teaching you guys how to do your select bus service signs later on in the process, as those are a little bit more advanced. But hopefully, if you guys need any more help with this tutorial, let me know in the comments. I'll see you guys in a different video. Yeah, I'm tired of shit. I'm sorry. I had to wake up at like the middle of the night, kind of, because usually I wake up at like 10, 11, sometimes 1 in the afternoon. But I'm not. It's 6 in the morning, man. Later, y'all.